lives without truly knowing what they'll leave behind, the legacy that they'll leave behind. Raise your hands if you're crystal clear about the impact you'll be leaving on this world. Come on, guys. Are you crystal clear about the impact you'll be leaving on this world? I see very few hands. And this is exactly what I am talking about. Okay, so I want you all to do this exercise with me. Just a small little exercise. I want you all to close your eyes if you can and imagine yourself 10 years from now. Who do you see? Some of you might see someone who's checked off most of the things off their life list. Some of you might see someone who has finally taken that leap of faith that you've been planning but postponing for years. And some of you might not exactly see someone, but you may have this vague sense, this feeling that life would somehow transform once you embody that version of yourself. Okay, now, I want you all to fast forward in time again, okay? Death knocks on your door. You've passed away. People around you, the people you spent your whole lives with, even strangers maybe, some of them, are cherishing you, they're remembering you, they're talking about you. What do you think you will be remembered for? That is your future fossil. Hi everyone, I am Vriti Gujral. I'm a 19-year-old artist and I've been learning Kathak since the past 13 years from my Guruji Sri Barun Banerjee. And truth be told, I'm the kind of person who thinks a lot, I am an overthinker and an overanalyzer. For my dad, it was a legacy of his business. For my brother, it was generational wealth. And well, for me, I really thought about it. And I came to realize that it was a legacy of art and musicals that I wanted to leave behind. Now, because I think a lot, the visualization I just walked you all through was something I found myself doing at 13 years of age. Truth be told, I always felt like I'm two different people, A part of me completely immersed in Indian classical dance, whereas there was this other part of me, which was in love with English music and Western aesthetics, like a normal Gen Z kid is, right? And I always felt like when I was leaning on one side of my path, of my passion, I was betraying the other aspect of myself. That feeling where you always feel that, no, something is missing, something is incomplete. Am I doing justice to myself? I was thinking about that a lot. And so I still remember at 13 years of age, somebody asked me, "What is your biggest fear, Vriti?" And I really pondered upon it, really thought about it. And then, you know what my answer was? Not leaving a legacy behind. And that made me really wonder. I started wondering, what is the purpose of this division that I feel inside myself? And what kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? What truly is a legacy? And I'm so glad I thought about all of these questions because after I came to a conclusion, after I found my answers, I felt more grounded, more centered in myself and my vision. I was able to give my passion a deeper purpose. For me, I realized that even though Kathak is my passion, yes, my purpose is to create modern dance productions rooted in Indian classical and contemporary, bridging the gap between Indian forms and Gen Z, bridging the gap between two of myselves that I felt torn in between. Each one of us is a fossil in the making, and art is an exceptional way to make you understand this because each piece of art is a fossil in itself, isn't it? A painting, a poem, a dance piece, a song, anything. And especially Indian classical dance forms because they were originated thousands of years before. So they have basically fossilized our ancestors and they're still carrying the legacy of ancient India with them. I'll give you an example. In Kathak, we have compositions, bowls. And since Kathak is a pretty ancient language in itself, a lot of the bowls are thousands of years or hundreds of years old. And so there is this fossil which is pretty special to me and I really love it. And I would like to share it with you all to just give you an example of how a fossil in my field looks like. So here's a small recital of Ganesh Paran, as we call it. And I want you all to just clap with me to give me the beat so I can recite it for you. Dha din din da, dha din da, dha din da, trik din da. Gana naam ganpati Ganesh lambodar sohe, bhuja char ik dant chandrama lalat raje, Brahma Vishnu Mahesh tal de, Drupad gave, ati vichitra gannath aaj mirdang bajave, dhat dhadav dhad dhad kridhan, din nag nag nag, dan tin takanana dhadiga, dig dinag dinag, ta kridhan kirtak dhadan tadan, dha kirtak dhadan tadan, dha kirtak dhadan tadan, dha din da, dha din da, dha din da, trik din da, dha. I want you all to picture it like this. Every time you make a decision or you make a choice, you're adding a new layer to the fossil you will become. Now the question for you all is, will your fossil be strong enough to survive the tides of time, or will it simply fade away? As you think about this, I'll give you an example from my own experience. Pretty early in my life, I realized that I loved Kathak and I wanted to take it seriously and it was my passion. And so I talked about it with my parents, and my mom and dad truly saw that this was something which spoke to my soul. And so they both decided to help me pursue this as my career. And to support my dreams, my mom left her job. Every time she would take me to dance class, but as parents usually drop their children and go to work or go back home, she would sit there and observe intricacies of every single movement that my Guruji used to do. She would observe all the corrections he used to tell me then. And once we would go back home, because she knew I was a kid, right? Because I started Kathak when I was 6 years old. And when I got serious about it, I was around 11 or 12. So what does that kid know, right? So she became my mentor. And mind you, she has no experience in Indian classical dance whatsoever. But my mother noticed everything just so she could guide me on the right path. And then once we would go back home, we would sit there for hours on end. We would practice for hours on end. And we would discuss the corrections that my Guruji was discussing. And I would keep on working on it until I got it right. And she would help me with it. Countless birthdays, countless anniversaries over the years have passed like this. Because my mother sacrificed everything for me and taught me to sacrifice every comfort for my dream. And that's when it hit me. I am the legacy my mother has been layering all along, building up the strongest layer of my fossil yet. One thing I want to say to you all, that if you want your fossil to survive the tides of time long enough and stay there, then you need to realize one thing. You have to be authentically, unapologetically you. The world needs your truth, your honesty, who you truly are. Authenticity is cool. And we think that being who we are will make us feel vulnerable, will make us appear to be lame sometimes in front of others. But you know what? That's the paradox of life. Ultimately, it's who you are that will make you feel the safest in your own skin. Now, I would like to discuss 4 simple truths with you guys that I live by, which have helped me navigate my journey of leaving a legacy behind, and I think can help you navigate yours. Truth number 1. Know your roots before you grow your wings. Sounds poetic, doesn't it? But I'll explain it. Before you go and try to change the world, I want you to start a little slow. I want you to go inside yourself and understand your roots. I want you to understand where you come from, your culture, your value, your story. For me, it was Indian classical dance. It not only gave me an identity, it taught me discipline. It taught me grounding. And you know what? Most importantly, it gave me a place to simply start. And that's what most of us need. So, what I want to say is when you're deeply rooted and connected to who you are, that's when you truly soar high. Which brings me to the second point: blend. Don't erase. We often think that if we have polarizing aspects of our personality, or we have polarizing hobbies or interests or passions, we need to choose one in order to either pursue what we envision we want to pursue, or just like live life. We often feel like, this is not going well with the genre I want to be in. I want to, either I can go here or I can go there. But trust me, your uniqueness lies in your mix. That's where the magic happens. I also felt like that for a very long time. I felt like either I can be an Indian classical dancer or I can have love for English songs, Western aesthetics, but I can't find a mix because that's not been done before the way I want to do it, right? But if it's not been done before, then that can be my legacy. And so, when I mixed both versions of myself, that's when I found my purpose of creating musicals. And not only did it lead me to my path, it helped me revolutionize it. So I want you all to realize your uniqueness is in your mix. That's where your revolution begins. This brings me to point number 3. Create with intention, not imitation. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs you. It needs your truth. It needs your raw honesty. So whenever you're creating anything, it doesn't have to be art. It can be a business venture. It can be a job project. It can be anything in this world. I want you all to ask yourself, why am I creating this? What message am I trying to convey through this? What is this thing that I am creating trying to say to the people around me? Because when you become your art and your life is rooted in intention, that's when it becomes meaningful and lasting. And now, we come to point number 4. Think beyond yourself. I can't stress this one enough. Your legacy isn't just about you. Your legacy will never be just about you. You are the beginning of your legacy, but it's truly about how you impact others around you. So whenever you're creating anything or whenever you think of legacy, I want you all to keep your personal interests aside and think, how am I going to uplift others from this? How is this going to impact everyone around me? Because trust me, true legacy isn't just in personal success. It's in the collective good. When you decide to raise the collective vibration through your work, through your being. That's what true legacy is. And finally, when we talk of ashes, we often think of endings, don't we? And while some ashes are meant to be blown away by the wind, some ignite again. So I urge you, like a phoenix, rise in the form of your legacy, being reborn from your own ashes. And so when your time comes and it's time to go, make sure you don't leave behind just dust, because only the strongest fossils become dust.
I am not just a dancer. I am the sea. I am at peace even after having chaos in me. I am not just a dancer. I am the art and the artist. I am not just the light. I am also the darkness. I am not just a dancer. I am a cosmic creator. You don't get to define me or tell me if I am lesser or greater. I am not just a dancer. You cannot limit me. I am the beginning and the end. The whole universe is in me.
Seven, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122,